Welcome to Fiji, the heart of the South Pacific and the perfect place to perfect your video skills. It's a 9-hour flight from Los Angeles to Fiji's international airport at Nadi. But no matter when you leave, you'll always arrive here tomorrow. That's because Fiji is where time begins. Most of Fiji's 300 islands lie just west of the international date line. I'm Bill Boggs, and with me is Amanda Best, a fashion model. And like me, she makes her living in front of the camera, but on this trip we hope to sharpen our skills behind the lens. And who better to learn from than Emmy Award-winning director and the producer of our show, John Biffar. We start off on a surfing safari to Tavarua Island. There we'll videotape Fiji's rad dad of the longboard. And next we'll experience the wild Nagumo River and learn how to keep our shots rock steady. And finally, we fly on to Nukubati Island, paradise redefined. There we'll dive one of the world's most pristine reefs and get a few helpful hints on how to bring home some of Fiji's most spectacular underwater scenery.
When's the last time you were on a board, John?
Last time I was on a board was
and stayed on the board
in Hawaii, and I ate it on a huge wave, and it wasn't too memorable experience actually. The whole idea now is just think left, Mom.
I am thinking left. I'm leaning to the left. This is not a political statement, but since we're going to a beach where the waves break to the left, the least we can do is drive on the left to get there.
Right now, Bill, it's amazing because the shot we're getting now is of the two of us with our swivel LCD cam, which allows me to film me and you at the same time while you drive, and I make sure that I'm the one in focus.
We're going surfing! Yeah! Not that I know how to surf, but...
From the Nadi airport, it's about a 1-hour scenic and sometimes bumpy ride to meet our shuttle boat that will take us to Tavarua Island.
Wow, look at this color.
This is not
Look
too
at
bad.
this color. Turquoise and brown with Tavarua in the background. Let's get the stuff.
In the world of surfing, the island of Tavarua is legendary. Its perfect waves have turned perfectly respectable people into surf bums, which is why we all decide it has to be our first stop. Besides, John assures us that there really isn't much to learning this sport.
This ought to do it. The longboard. The longboard is for a couple reasons. One, it's easier to catch small waves, which we're going to be riding today. Two, it's easier for you guys because to learn on a shortboard is very difficult. Longboards are great to learn on.
How about our video objective for the day?
Video objective, we're going to have some fun. We're going to put the camera in a housing, and we're going to shoot some water shots, which will be a blast. Different angle. And then what's really special about today is we're surfing with the chief, and the chief is the first Fijian to learn how to surf. He's kind of like surfing with Duke Hanamoku. It's a real honor.
Hey,
and there he is. The chief.
After a 10-minute boat ride, you can be at any number of fantastic reef breaks. Lefts, rights, big waves, small waves. There's pretty much any kind of wave you could be looking for. In Fiji, almost every village has a chief. Sakiusa Nandruku inherited the title in Tavarua. But he's turning some traditions upside down. And for some reason, he spends a lot more time teaching Amanda than me. He must think I'm a natural.
When I stand up!
Okay, maybe just a little more practice. And after all the personal attention that Amanda receives, of course, she stands up on her first wave. Then the set of the day comes in, and I'm lucky enough to be in the perfect position.
Go, Bill! Bill,
I need reverse.
That last wave of yours was unbelievable. Did you see the way he was inside the tube? Unbelievable wave.
Wow.
I thought you said you never did this before.
Well, you know, the thing was, the special effect they have in the camera.
That was outrageous.
Trick photography? Us?
Let's go.
By putting the camcorder in an underwater housing, we're able to bring the audience a lot closer to the action. John's best tip? Don't forget to duck!
John, what's a common mistake somebody would make if they're trying to capture this experience of being on the boat?
Well, you know, one of the things you want to remember when you're on a boat is that the movement is going to be your enemy. So what you have is two things really with this camera to compensate for that. One is you want to be on the full wide range, so that you have
Back
the widest
as far as
angle.
possible?
Exactly. The other thing is technology has come to our aid with this new camera. It's got what they call a floating CCD. In other words, there's an electronic device in here that compensates for the shakiness of your hand slightly and actually stabilizes the image without degradation to the image. So it's pretty cool. You know, if you look at the LCD,
It's not moving at all.
and it's
totally
not moving at all. But when I zoom in, watch what happens. Can you see? No. Really kind of accentuates the bump.
We're rocking and rolling.
Right,
now,
so you want to stay wide, and you want to be, you know, always, whenever you can, stay wide and get close to your subject. It's more interesting, the movement is more dynamic, and it's just a better way to go.
The chief has invited us back to the village for a Kava ceremony. Now that's something that almost all visitors to Fiji experience. Now we've heard that this popular Fijian brew is mildly narcotic. And of course we don't want to offend the chief, so we agree to give it a try. The effect is kind of like Novocaine. It gives a slight numbing sensation to my mouth.
This will actually allow you to film the service in color. You ever see that before?
Yeah, no.
Never seen that before, have you?
Yeah.
Now, we're recording, right?
Right.
How about that? Also, if you want to get a shot of both of us,
Yeah.
you can flip this over and turn it around towards us. Hold it out this way. And now look at the monitor there. And now you can see the two of us. How about that, Chief?
All right.
Not bad.
It's like a mirror.
John Roseman is a native Californian, and he was bitten by Fiji's surf bug on his first visit. Today, he operates the island resort. I asked John if the natives' enthusiasm for Kava has anything to do with their very friendly dispositions.
It's more than the Kava.
It's a moment there, yeah.
The Kava definitely contributes at times, but I think it's inherent in their nature. They're always laughing. Not only that, but they'll share with you every little thing that they have. So they'll give you the shirt off their back if you need it. It's incredible, and it's such a great example for society in general. It's really neat.
We set off on a 3-hour drive from Nadi town to the Navua River. There, we plan on taking a riverboat trip to the Nakavu village and discover its hidden waterfalls. After a few hours on the road, we work up an appetite and fortunately spot the perfect place to refuel and work on my camera skills.
Wow. Bill, get down there. You're missing all the good stuff.
That's right. I'll have a shower later
Awesome.
on.
Oh, you can still swim in there.
The other thing, it
Very good.
increases your potency, you know, drinking coconut juice. And you got all the juice. What'd you buy, John?
A dozen coconuts for $2, but the amazing thing about Fijian coconuts, they never fall on you. They guarantee they will never fall. You know why?
Radar?
Because they have 3 eyes. See these little eyes right here?
Is it one to look to the left, one to look to the right, and one to always look out?
And then, hey, are you killing? She's killing my joke here. You know, I think we should get rid of this one. I think that's, you can't even
Nothing like
finish a
stepping on
joke.
a punchline.
Yeah.
We arrive at the bank of the Navua River, and John explains what an establishing shot is all about.
One tip here to capture this scene, it's always good to start off with a wide shot. You want to show the entire area to give the viewer the sense of where are we right now. So put your lens on full wide.
All right.
And start rolling. One thing to remember is try to count to 10 in your mind. Actually count to 10, because what happens a lot is people will look at an image and they'll see it in the frame, and then they'll immediately either zoom in or they'll shut the camera off.
Right now I'm heading in on the little scene of the 2 people who just sat down by the side of the river.
Here's one other tip. You're zooming in. Obviously, we're running around without tripods. It's tough to zoom in and hold it. But the whole world is a tripod. Let me show you what I mean. See this over here?
Can I quote you on that? The whole world is a tripod?
Right over here, we have a rock that can act as a tripod. Place the camera down. Then we zoom in, and I have it rock steady, no pun intended, obviously.
No, I got that. The world is a tripod.
The world is a tripod, and here it is. And now we're pushed in all the way. We have a great shot, and we don't have to go home and make people sick with our motion in the lens.
Today, and for as long as the locals can remember, this river has been crucial for transporting goods, people, and produce.
Prawns? I like prawns.
Wow.
While the scenery has remained unchanged, so is the transportation we use to explore it. A classic bamboo raft called a billy-billy. And soon we find ourselves welcome guests in the village of Nukubati. Bula means both hello and good health. And for our crew, it's a word that's synonymous with the friendly Fijian people. Soon we're invited to a meke, which is sort of a village celebration. Once again, the kava is flowing freely. The food is incredible, but the music is what best conveys the spirit of the Fijian people. Before long, our young Fijian friends are video pros. We're back on the river, about to set off for the hidden waterfalls, when John makes a startling wildlife discovery.
Frog camp. Frog camp. Frog camp. Frog camp.
Our wildlife encounter behind us, we move on. Amanda discovers that not only are the Fijians super friendly, but they're really clean.
So what kind of soap do you use?
Palmolive.
Palmolive. Yay!
Have a great day.
Soon we enter a narrow stream. After a short hike through the rainforest, we arrive at the base of the hidden waterfalls.
All right, guys. Last one in is in rotten egg.
The original. I don't think it's gonna be me.
Come on, Amanda.
It's not quite as warm as the
The water's a little bit chilly, but exactly what I need. Following the locals' lead, I decide to take the Fijian plunge.
Yes! One more time! Woo!
We leave the big island of Fiji and fly north to its sister island, Vanua Levu. From the Labasa airport, it's about an hour to Nukubati Island. Nukubati Island is a 32-acre resort that caters to only 8 guests, and right now, it's totally ours. I think I can get used to this. Lots of water, lots to do, and wherever you point your camera, a spectacular view.
This is almost as good as it gets, Amanda. Primo moment.
It was Jenny Lewi's dream to operate a world-class resort in her native country of Fiji. And today, that dream is a reality. According to Jenny, while the location is tropical and exotic, it's the Fijian people who make this destination unforgettable. On our way to nearby Nagumo village, Jenny explains why.
It's a very loving, it's a very embracing, very inclusive kind of community. We all know as children growing up here, the bottom line is it doesn't matter what you do, you'll be okay. Someone will take care of you.
That's comforting.
That's very
It's
comforting.
very comforting.
Can I come live here?
I think I'm not. Mother!
You need a good houseboy.
It's hard to believe that what appeared to be the friendliest people on Earth were at one time some of the most savage. Cannibalism was practiced here just over a century ago. Christianity soon changed that custom, and it isn't long before we hear the soulful voices of the congregation in the nearby village of Nagumo. Once again, we're made to feel like welcome guests. Most of these village kids have never seen a video camera before, and I never had more fun shooting one. Before the sun goes down, we're back on Nukubati Island, just in time to shoot an incredible sunset during a light rain. So John brings along his professional film camera.
Yeah, this should be our position.
What's the benefit of being lower versus just like at natural height?
Well,
Why
the
wouldn't you just
natural
stand
height
to
is
do it?
eye level, and it gets kind of boring. If you bring the viewer down to a new perspective that they haven't seen before, it's more interesting for them. And here with the water, we're right on top of the water. It should be pretty nice. And you can do the same thing with your camcorder. Why don't you try to shoot the same shot I am?
Okay.
And then when we go back, I'll show you the difference between the two.
Great.
In terms of the texture of the image. I think we got our shot.
Well, that was definitely worth it.
Hey, Bill. Hey, Bill, can you hear me, man?
Yeah, John.
Okay, it's like pretty dark, isn't it?
It's night.
It's like
10 o'clock
pitch
at
black,
night.
right? Guess
Yeah.
what? I brought
Night shot. Our camcorders come equipped with a built-in infrared light, and with the flip of a switch, we're filming in total darkness. Throughout our trip, we've been accompanied by the rhythmic music of Fiji. Finally, it's time to join in. so John whips out the harp and I back him up with vocals.
Was the dark of the night. We had the fire's light. Reaching for the stars. Gone way past Mars. We got the Nukubati blues. But they're really very fine.
For those who love to dive, Fiji is quite simply as good as it gets. Today we're off to explore a portion of what's known as the Great Sea Reef, and Laurie McCulloch is our guide.
There are so many sites out there that can be discovered by anyone that comes to visit us. And if you want to dive somewhere that no one's dived before, then this is a place to do it.
While Amanda and I explore with snorkels, Laurie and John use scuba gear to shoot some underwater video of this previously unexplored site. John points out to Laurie that red filters and lights are needed underwater to record the vibrant colors. And that's because the deeper we go, water acts as its own filter, and red is the first color to be diminished. Just as John is getting a great shot of the sea turtle, a fellow diver swims up and grabs it. John prefers to capture the turtle on tape and soon convinces his companion to set it free. All too soon, it's time for Isale, the traditional Fijian farewell song.
Hugs, no handshakes.
Wonderful. You live in paradise.
Goodbye, Nukubati! We'll be back!